Okay, so before I start this video, I wanted to add on to my last video a little bit. One thing I really love about some YouTubers is that they ask a question because for me, this isn't just about kind of educating people about being raised atheist, but also about learning what other people feel about that and how they were raised and kind of broadening my own experiences. So, I would like to ask all of you who are watching this to go to that video, I will link it in a moment, and answer some questions. I have two questions, and I would love it if you'd answer them. The first one, which I'm going to write up here as well, right, is for everyone who was raised in a religious household, okay? And that is, what regular activities in your household did you do that you would attribute to being religious? And then the second question, which I'll put over here, is for those non-believers in the audience. I was just wondering what you would keep, what would you do differently from that religious upbringing. This is assuming that you are brought up religious. If not, feel free to answer the questions any way you'd like. Yeah, so if you could go here to this link right here, and go to that video and write those questions or write answers to those questions, I would appreciate it. So just put me on pause. Ready? Pause. Okay, I'm going to assume that you all did that, and thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and it's really exciting when I get comments and video responses especially. If you could be the first one to video respond, I would be so excited. But on to today. Today I want to talk to you about Christmas. And like I said in my last video, I celebrated all of the American holidays, just like all the other kids, and seemingly the same way as all the other kids. In Christmas we put up the tree and had all the lights, and believe me, my mother loves decorating for holidays. It's her favorite thing in the world to do. So we had everything. We had Santa hats, big Christmas trees, and Christmas lights. Our Christmas lights stayed up all year round. I mean, that's how I told my friends which house it was. It was, take a right on 39th, look up, when you see the Christmas lights, that's us. A little embarrassing, but regardless, we loved Christmas. And I especially loved Christmas because not only was I an only child, or am an only child still, I was an only grandchild, which means I got all the presents, which was very exciting. But Christmas is also a very special time for me in that it was the first time I really showed that skepticism is something that must have been innate in my being. I mean, not just that my parents raised me to be a non-believer, but that it was just genetically in me somewhere, or at least that's what I believe. Because when I was about 5 years old, my parents, had Christmas and gave me presents, and I got presents from Santa, and we created all of these, we decorated the whole house and everything. Well, when I was 5 years old, my mom was going on about how exciting it'll be and how Santa's got something special for me this year. And, I was kind of going along with it. And then, I turned to my mom because she was really, really going on about this. I said, Mom, Santa isn't real, right? Now keep in mind, I'm 5 years old. I have no idea why it is that I didn't actually believe in Santa. I have no recollection. No one ever told me this, to my knowledge. But, I turned to my mom and said, there isn't really a Santa, right? Now, of course, this devastated my mother because, she loved to tell me about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and, thought I was really into it, and I just thought they were really good stories. So my mom kept trying to convince me and really tell me, yes, there is a Santa Claus, trying to explain, well, where do you think, your fluffy bunny thing or whatever I got the year before came from, and where do you think this came from, and all of that. And finally, I actually went to my father when I just had had enough of that, and I said, Dad, could you talk to Mom? Because I think she really believes in Santa. Now, of course, this made my dad's day. He thought this was the funniest thing in the world. And my mother was slightly less amused. And she, she got really upset, and she said that, fine, if there's no Santa, then there's no presents from Santa. And of course, as a 5-year-old, and as an only child, spoiled rotten, this was devastating. This was the worst thing I could have heard my entire life. It's like, I knew there was no Santa, but I also knew that presents happened. And I didn't connect that I had to actually pretend that Santa existed to get those presents. So I was pretty upset after that. But in the end, we worked it out, being the bargainer that I am. And I convinced her that I did believe in Christmas miracles, like presents randomly appearing. And so that year I got a giant easel with all these art supplies and everything. I was very excited, and on there it said, you know, "To Emily, love, the Christmas miracle." And that joke ran for a couple of years until my mom finally just gave up and just said that they were my Christmas morning presents rather than our Christmas evening presents. But I wanted to know, just because from my own experience, I just never had this belief in Santa, and I didn't think anyone else actually believed it. And I wanted to know from you guys, this is my question number 1 for either text or video response, did you ever actually believe in Santa? Like 100% believe he existed, just like you believe your parents exist, like he was real? Or, you know, not just Santa, the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, all those little things that, you know, parents tell you. Did you ever actually believe they existed? And the second question, and this is directed more at my non-believing audience, is, with Christmas, how would you celebrate Christmas with your kids? Would you celebrate the same way you did when you were a kid? Is there anything you would keep, leave out? Would you not celebrate it at all? Just kind of curious what you would want to do, because I went through a phase in my later life where I decided I wasn't going to celebrate Christmas. I wasn't going to celebrate Easter because they were religious holidays. And then I decided I really like decorating trees and getting chocolate. So I went back into it, and, you know, I'm more than happy to, you know, play along and have fun, as long as I don't have to spend hours in church. Yeah, I appreciate all your views and all your comments and your video responses. Come on, video responses. Okay, thanks, see you next time.